Man, we're getting closer and closer and closer to September 2nd, 79 days away. Our opponent will be Virginia. The Virginia Cavaliers will be playing in Nashville at 11 o'clock in the morning, Central Time. I hate that time, but I like the outcome that we're going to have. Come on in. I'll show you the numbers.
Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
If you like this program, I would appreciate it if you would hammer that like button and hammer that subscribe button, because Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Hey, man, let's get right to looking at the numbers for Tennessee and Virginia on September 2nd. I cannot believe we are here again, close enough to the football season to be able to do number predictions. This is so exciting. The Big Boss Daddy College Football Computer goes on sale in August. We were 75% last year for the entire season. So just say it. And we're going to have a sneak peek of it here with the games, with the Tennessee games coming up for this season over the next few weeks, right? So here we go. Looking at Virginia, the game is September 2nd, 79 days away. Anybody excited? Raise your hand. I'm excited, man. Holy crackers. All right, let's look at the numbers. These are the preseason numbers, right? So it's all subjective because you got people in high places going, well, I think that, they lost all their players. They lost Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman and that first round line guy. So they're probably not going to be pretty good. Well, you know what I think about that. They're not paying attention. So we got Tennessee, boom, right here, and Virginia, right? The power rating, as it stands right now, preseason, 15.2 for Tennessee and minus 2.8 Virginia. What that is an 18-point spread for the true line. Now, the true line is very subjective at this point. I mean, very subjective, because these two figures are people are arriving at those figures through opinion, right? Nothing that's happened on the field yet, because obviously they're not playing. However, Vegas steps up and goes, woohoo, Tennessee should beat these boys 27.5 points. We shall see. Now, this big block of change here, right here, I'm not going to show you the numbers in there because that's the magic. That's where the magic lives. But that magic produces an outcome of 45 to 15-ish. All right? So, what does that mean? What that means is we are looking at a score of maybe 42 to 14. What does that look like? Well, what that looks like, excuse me, it covers the 28 points, 27.5. And I'm sure before the game time, this thing is going to go to 28.5, 29, 30, 31. Count on it. So if you're betting, get it at 27.5 now, right? Now, this is interesting. This figure right here is the over and under. The over and under is 58.5, right? This figure right here does not cover 58.5. However, this figure right here does. Covers at 59.60, right? So this is kind of iffy on the over and the under. And you say, well, Rocket Man, what makes you so smart, Mr. Smarty Pants? Well, excellent question. And I'm going to kind of show you. So this algorithm It just occurred to me. I created an algorithm. Are you impressed? I'm impressed. So let's look at Tennessee Clemson last year. So power rating was 21.6 to 18.1. The true line then was 3.5. Tennessee. But Vegas put it out, those sneaky bastards. They put it out as a -4 and went to 5.5. All right. So why did they do that? Because they were giving the opportunity for everybody. They knew that everybody wasn't going to bet Tennessee because, because Jalen Hyatt and Hendon Hooker and said, the studs were not going to play in the game. Right? So, how wrong they were. So let's look at the outcome algorithm here. Let's compare these two. Last year, my outcome here was 45 to 33. Now, let me just share this with you. I don't care about the final score. What I care about is the final margin. And here, this margin is -12 for Tennessee. You got me? And look at this. Tennessee won by 14. Right? So, and in 75%, with the exception, what were we? We were 10-3 last year for Tennessee. Using this algorithm. And that's pretty impressive. You can make some money doing that. However, I do not recommend betting money on the team you love. It's hard to do, and you shouldn't really do it. But the same process works for a lot of other games and throughout college football in general. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a score of 42 to 14, maybe even more than that. And let me tell you why. Is Virginia going to score 14? They couldn't. They could possibly score 14. But I think those 14 points are going to come in garbage time, right? When I promise you a couple of things. Nico is going to have his first touchdown pass in this game in the fourth quarter. And some of these young defensive studs that they recruited are going to get a chance to play in this game in the fourth quarter. As a learning experience, it is the SEC, right? It's tough football. It's hard going. Not that Virginia's in the SEC, but I mean, it ain't high school anymore. And a lot of those freshmen are going to get a chance to play in this game. And rightfully so, because on the defensive side of the ball, because that's really important. Looking through the season, because that's where we need to improve. And I think we are going to improve huge. And the reason we're going to improve in a huge way is because we now have a whole lot of athletes who can spell people when they're tired, when they get a little dinged up, for 2 minutes or 3 plays or whatever. They just got so much depth now back there in the defensive backfield. It's going to be exciting to watch. They're going to be a better defensive team, right? But I think Virginia, if they're going to score, it'll come late against the freshmen. Right? So there you go. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, I will point this out, and let's play a little bit of that. Their coach, Tony Elliot, he was one of Dabo Sweeney's assistants for a long time. He's been with him was with him for 10, 11, 12 years, right? So he's good. He knows what he's doing. But it's Virginia. And then they had the huge tragedy last year. They're just not ready for what's going to hit them in the form of Tennessee offense, right? Just not going to happen. So here's what Tony Elliott had to say. They went out and they got him a quarterback. Now, this is kind of weird. They got him a quarterback from Monmouth. I don't know. I never even heard of Monmouth. Anyway, this is what Tony Elliott had to say about their transfer portal guy from Monmouth.
Looking at the quarterback situation, first and foremost with the distribution, you got a sophomore, you got 2 freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and then you already had a high school guy coming in. So we were looking for a guy with some experience. And I think the first thing that jumps out is he's played 3 years. He's a freshman of the year in his conference, and then he was back-to-back first team all-conference in his league. So we were looking for a guy with experience, a guy that was competitive, a guy that wanted to come in and compete, wasn't going to be afraid of the competition that he was going to have to go through if he wanted to be the guy. He's from the state of Virginia, and just has a chip on his shoulder. I think as a program right now, we have a chip on our shoulder. We got a lot to prove to a lot of people, even prior to how the season ended. And so I think it was just a natural fit. Very technically sound. When we watch him, he's very, very technically sound. He's had to throw the ball up in an area where it's very windy, and was very successful, throwing the football. So he's got good accuracy. And so those were the things that attracted us to him. We were looking for a guy with experience. We were looking for somebody that was going to want to come in and truly compete, and then go have an appreciation. I think he's done what he needed to do at that level. He feels like he can compete at this level. We believe he can compete at this level, and so we felt like it was a good fit.
I think we've done a great job in the 12 practices we've had of having a consistent focus. For the most part, I've got most of it down. I'm not perfect yet, so there's still room for improvement. So, I can't get complacent just because I think I know this or I think I know that.
He's been doing a really good job of finding completions. He's got a quick release, but he's finding completions, moving the offense.
I feel very comfortable. It's been awesome working with Coach Lamb and Coach Kitchens. They've made everything very simple for me. I feel good, feel like I've been here for a long time, and it's been fun to play in. The biggest thing when you come in and you're playing with new wide receivers, you got to get extra reps with them. It's credit to them because in order to do that, you have to have a lot of hard workers in that receiver room that are willing to come out and get that extra work in. All the guys, they've had a great energy, and I mean that honestly. They come in every day, whether it's lift, we're out here on the field. Guys are flying around, we're having fun, we're executing. It's fun to be around them.
Tony Elliott has got some good coaching credentials. He was one of Dabo Sweeney's dudes, right? I'm kind of curious, though. I mean, this is the offensive coordinator when Trevor Lawrence was kicking ass at Clemson, remember? And so they go to the transfer portal to get a guy from Monmouth. That's curious. Anyway, are you scared? You saw him. You heard the coach talk about him. You saw him throw the ball. Really? I don't know, man. Monmouth? Seriously? I mean, this is pretty. It's a pretty big jump up in class from Monmouth to playing the University of Tennessee tackle football Volunteers. Am I right? Man, it's exciting. We're getting closer and closer. Everybody is excited as I am. Raise your hand. Mm-hmm. This episode today is brought to you by this weird picture. I'm going to start sponsoring a segment on every show with a weird picture. A picture that is just weird. What the hell is that? I guess she's expecting a phone call. But for real, this episode today is brought to you by my friends at LuxuryTravelNashville.com, Dockery Destinations. Whether you're going around the world or going around the corner, you need to just call Deb. Her number is 615-863-1263. You can see all the fabulous locations you can travel to. She is a cruise specialist as well. You can see all the fabulous locations of travel on the website at LuxuryTravelNashville.com. And when you talk to them and you book them, Tell them Rocket sent you. Be sure to hammer that like button and hammer the subscribe button. I thank you very much. I tell you, I'm excited as I can be. It's not going to be much longer. It's going to be here before you know it. Fall practice starts in about 6 weeks, maybe less. And September 2nd is not that far away. I'd appreciate your comments. Leave me some love. I need you. Go Big Orange.
Rock the